If you are not comfortable enough with your lender, you need to find a new lender. They should be able to answer any question you have and not make you feel like you're an inconvenience to them. God forbid you know what's happening with your money. Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessica Dorsey and I am a real estate agent out in Windsor, Colorado. And today we are continuing in the series of Dear God, it's me, a millennial who just wants to buy a house. In the past couple of videos, I was talking about the financial side of things, and we're gonna still kind of trickle over into this video with some of that. But right now, you're probably getting to the point of like, okay, I've saved as much as I really can. I've figured out what loan I think I'm gonna go for, which you're still gonna talk to your lender though about that. So they are gonna know for sure which loan is best for you. But now comes the starting point of, okay, I think I'm ready to start looking for a house. What comes first, the real estate agent or the lender? It doesn't really matter which person you meet first. If you happen to be searching on Zillow and you find a house that you might want to tour and things, it will offer you an option to contact an agent. Once you enter all of your information in that little bubble, they're gonna send you over to a real estate agent that has paid to advertise on Zillow. What I tend to do with my people that I receive from Zillow is I really like to set up either a phone call or some sort of in-person meeting so that I can actually talk to those clients, because Zillow is not going to pre-qualify you at all. Basically, when you're looking at Zillow, you're just essentially telling them that you think this house is pretty, can I go and look at it? And they're like, sure, here's an agent. It really is the agent's job at that point, at that first initial meeting, to see if you're actually in a position to buy a house. One of my first questions is going to always be, have you been pre-approved yet? I kind of operate under the assumption that most people are not going to be pre-approved when they're looking on Zillow, because they're still in the beginning stages of looking for a home. So I do have a bunch of lenders that I work with that I can refer out. And just so you guys know, we do not get any sort of compensation or kickbacks or rewards at all from referring our lender partners. It's illegal. You literally cannot receive anything from your lender to give them business. And vice versa. So if you end up meeting your lender first and they refer you to an agent, they are not getting any sort of compensation at all from that. So don't worry about the people that your agent is referring you to and that, oh, well, they're just referring me because they're getting a reward. We are not. We would go to jail. That would be the reward. So if you don't happen to be pre-approved, what I'm going to do is, first off, I'm going to put you in contact with some of my recommended lenders. And I always suggest to my buyers, talk to the bank that you're banking at. They might have a great program for you that you qualify for and you already like and trust that bank because all of your money is there, or I hope you do. If not, you should probably look for a different bank. But if you're in the beginning stages of getting this pre-approval stuff going, you do need to kind of shop around and find a lender that you can ask questions of, that will answer your phone calls, within like business hours. Buying a home is a crazy expensive thing. It's one of the most expensive things that people can honestly do with their money. So you want to make sure that you are with somebody who is going to be able to answer every single question that you have, and always ask questions if you don't understand something. If you are not comfortable enough with your lender, you need to find a new lender. They should be able to answer any question you have and not make you feel like you're an inconvenience to them. God forbid you know what's happening with your money. So if you don't feel comfortable enough, it's time to keep searching. I do suggest going to a few lenders and interviewing them. I have a list of questions if you want. I can send that over to you. So right out of the gate, a couple of questions that you're gonna want to ask your lender are, what type of loan is right for me? Do I qualify for any down payment assistance programs? Always tell my buyers to ask their lenders for an estimated fees worksheet. There are a lot of behind the scene fees that go in with originating your loan and all of that jazz. And so obviously you're definitely also going to want to ask about what the rate is going to be, but that is not the most important thing. They might give you a semi-low rate and then skyrocket your fees. So then ultimately your closing costs are going to be way more expensive than you went with a slightly higher rate with way lower fees. So you kind of need to decide there like what's more important to you in the long term of things, but always ask for that estimated fees worksheet. Make sure you clarify whether your rate is going to be fixed or if it's adjustable. And if you have questions about that, I just did a video, I'll link it up here, where I go over what a fixed versus adjustable rate looks like. And then you definitely want to ask, when can you lock in my rate? Lenders are going to have different answers for you as far as when they will lock in their rate and how long those rates are actually good for. A rate lock tends to run about 30, 45, or 60 days. And it's usually after your initial loan application before it goes into underwriting. So just be aware that that pre-approval letter that you've gotten from your lender with a rate on it might not actually be the rate that is considered locked for you. So ask those questions right at the gate at the initial meeting. After you've met with your lender and things and they've run all of that jazz, they are going to verify your income. You're going to have to give them a ton of documents, which make sure you just give them the documents when they ask for them. You can get pre-approved. I usually say like a week or two. So give yourself some time so you don't feel like you're getting rushed into anything, so that the lender can really do their job in order to better service you. And so once they provide you with that pre-approval letter, you are now ready to start searching for homes. So no matter whether you found your agent off of Zillow or if you knew of an agent and then they referred you to a lender, or you had a lender that referred you to an agent, it doesn't really matter which step comes first. The important thing is though, is that you do need to get pre-approved before you start searching for homes. In Colorado, it is still such a seller's market, and honestly, it's been for a really long time. And across the nation, it is really a seller's market in most areas. There is going to be too much competition on a home, and a buyer without a pre-approval letter has zero chance of getting it. And frankly, it's a disservice to the sellers that you were even allowed to view the home without being pre-approved, because they don't know if you can actually buy their home. So getting pre-approved just lets everybody know that you are in a position to buy, you are qualified, you are ready to go from there. I would 100% recommend meeting in person with the people that you want to be on your team. So definitely have that buyer's consultation and absolutely have that meeting with your lender. And make it so that it's just, there's no expectations, there's no commitments. At that initial buyer's consultation, I don't present an exclusive buyer agreement. I want my people who work with me to decide to work with me, who actually feel like I'm the best fit for them. And sometimes that means that you need to go and sleep on it for a second. Also, at that initial meeting, that lender doesn't need to pull your credit right away. So the calmer that they are during that initial meeting is a good sign for you, honestly. You are just going to get some information. No expectations, no commitments need to be happening right then. Just let them know that you are just looking for some information at this stage. You're not 100% ready to get the ball rolling on anything. You're looking to get your information. To me, it's a red flag if real estate agents don't want to meet with you. Especially if you're a first-time home buyer. It takes a little bit more of hand-holding than some agents want to give. And that does not mean that they're bad agents. It just means that they might not be the right ones for you. Now this also, I'm not trying to set you up that the agent should be at your beck and call. You will not be the only client of the agent or the lender. So respect boundaries and all of that. But at that first initial meeting, make sure that they know that you are not planning on signing anything. You're just out looking for some info. At that initial buyer's consultation is when I will give a home buyer guide, and that has my recommended lenders that I've worked with in the past that have done a great job for me. If you go to these lenders and you don't feel like they're the right fit for you, that's totally fine. Do not feel like you are betraying your agent if you don't pick the lender that they suggested. Ultimately, it is your money and it's going to be your house, and you need to find that lender that you are most comfortable with. Think of those agent recommendations as just a stepping stone to get you further into the process. Once you've met with your real estate agent and once you've decided on your lender, you now have your team all in place. I do like to make introductions to the lenders if I haven't worked with them before, because the two of us are going to need to stay in communication once you are under contract on a home. So it's good to have, it's not a requirement that your lender and agent have worked together in the past, but it is easier because they already know each other's communication styles. They are able to work together to problem solve anything that comes up, and things will come up. Like, I have not had a transaction yet that has been smooth sailing the whole way. There are always going to be speed bumps, and how you get through those speed bumps will really depend on the team that you have assembled around you. So take your time with making these decisions and don't feel rushed. Don't make anyone pressure you into anything. And just find the agent and the lender that you really are vibing with and feel like are going to be a good relationship for future endeavors. I will ask from my buyers to see their pre-approval letter. That way I can also keep track of, if we're looking at condos, you're gonna have an HOA. And some of these houses are also going to have HOAs. That all affects like what you're actually qualified to buy. So letting your agent in on those aspects of your finances is going to be very helpful ultimately for you, because it's just a second pair of eyes to make sure that you are going down the correct road and you're not getting into any sort of like financial issues with that. I also will ask the lenders what their work schedule is, and I let my lenders know when we're going out home shopping. In this market, things are going so fast. And if you've been pre-approved for, let's just say $500,000, but in no way do you want to pay $500,000, we're kind of looking in the $350,000 range, that's totally fine. But when we go to make an offer and I'm submitting your pre-approval letter, I want your lender to have a pre-approval that coincides with that sale price, because it's a negotiation tactic, right? We don't need to let the other agent know that you actually are $150,000 under budget. Yes, there's ethics involved with trying to negotiate a higher price, but frankly, they could just say, no, we want a higher price. They don't have to tell you that they've got another offer on the table. Because if they say that and they don't, the agent could lose their license. But they could just say, no, we're not happy with that, and expecting you to raise the price. So we keep our cards close to our chest with that one. And so the lender needs to kind of be available when we're going home shopping to draft those letters for us. Ultimately, I love when a lender gives us what our like high point is, what our midpoint is, and what our low point is, all three letters right out of the gate, so that we can just go and have some freedom to make the offers how we need to. And then the agent and the lender are going to stay in contact as far as the transaction progresses, so that we make sure that we're hitting all of the milestones with the inspection date, with the appraisal dates, all of those things. So at this point now, your team has been assembled. You have a very communicative lender and real estate agent who are available to you, and they are there in case you have any questions coming up. I know I am always setting searches. I'm checking off-market properties. I'm checking for sell-by-owner properties. I'm making offers on homes for you. And your lender is going to be running any sort of scenario that we will run into with the housing part. They're going to take care of all that mortgage stuff for you. So yeah, now you have your team and now you're ready to go. We are ready to start searching for some homes. Next video, we are gonna go over some more efficient ways to search for a home so you don't feel ragged by the end of the process, because the home search is supposed to be the fun search of things. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please remember to like and subscribe. If you have any questions for me, comment below or shoot me an email at homeagain@jessicadorsey.com. Have a great day.